Following the conclusion of yet another action-packed group stage with the best club hockey in Europe, the top 16 teams must now find out who they need to first face as they continue with their quests to become champions of Europe. It is the Champions Hockey League Playoff Draw coming up next. So, good afternoon and mostly please feel welcome to this CHL season's draw for the round of 16 coming to you live from Helsinki, Finland. With 96 games played across 14 countries, the group stage concluded on Wednesday night with the top two teams from 8 groups confirmed to claim their places in the road to the final. But before we find out exactly which teams will face each other in the round of 16, as well as their possible opponents in the rounds thereafter, let's now take a quick look at the teams that have made it this far.
Kärpät ottaa sitten otteen uudelleen ja sieltä tulee seuraava reppu.
Contre Engelen, Petain, Petain, Alex Petain!
Skottläge och det är utökat till 2-0.
So, there you have it. The 16 teams that have qualified for today's draw split here into 2 pots, with group winners being in pot A and of course group runners-up being in the other one, pot B. And joining us now here live in the studio is Mr. Martin Baldwin, the CEO of Champions Hockey League. Martin, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
I understand it so that you have traveled quite a bit across Europe during the past couple of months. What can you tell about the trips you've been to? Nuremberg, Tappara, Tychy, Minsk, amongst others?
Well, actually, it started already with a huge highlight. My first trip went to the season opener to Pilsen, and I was really impressed how the management was committed, but as well how the team played. And as you can see, as a result, I mean, they ended up the group stage with 17 points out of 18. So great.
That's an unbelievable story.
That was unbelievable. Then I traveled further to Tychy, to Poland. And there was impressed about their fan base. I mean, they were singing and crying for almost an hour. I got goosebumps when I was there. The next destination was Belarus, Minsk. And they tripled their fan base in the venue. A fantastic atmosphere there as well. As you can see, I mean, we started quite successful into our 5th season. And another result is, I mean, at the last game day we had, for 5 spots, we had still 10 teams beating for those spots. And this is exactly what was on our wish list.
There is a demand for international hockey around Europe. And now, as we are in the middle of the 5th, let's say only the 5th Champions Hockey League season, we're already seeing some incredible and noticeable developments in ice hockey around the continent, especially if you look at the teams that have made it this far.
Yeah, I mean, it's our obligation to improve the tournament every year, and I think it was pretty smart to establish this new format with the sport demerit qualification. I think this was necessary and this was a good thing. There are no weak teams or weak games anymore. I mean, everybody can beat each other, and we saw that during the whole competition. A couple of years ago, we only had 5 teams entering the playoff. The Nordic dominance were huge. This year we already have 9 teams from different countries, or 9 countries entering the playoffs, and this is a huge diversity which I really like.
Saying this out loud, can I ask, like, what impact does this have on the CHL League rankings and the qualification at this stage?
Well, as I just mentioned, the Nordic dominance was great or huge with Sweden and Finland. They did quite well. And what we established the last couple of years is a new league ranking where we count every year all the points. And this year Switzerland did a tremendous job. I mean, they got on average 2.29 points and ended up with 100 points this year. So they overtook finally Czech and Finland. If it would stay like it is right now, they would even get another spot, so a 5th spot for next year. But lots of things can happen till the end of the tournament, so let's see.
We'll see about that, definitely. Coming back still to the season briefly, not only are the teams competing in CHL, the players, the teams, but the fans as well. Can you a little bit tell us about the CHL Fan Challenge that you introduced this season?
Another achievement we did, this was the Fan Challenge. It was a new platform we introduced to engage with our fans. And this was actually the outcome out of 21,000 fan survey we received. And our goal was to establish a game where teams and players and fans can learn about each other. And you cannot only get points for yourself, you can also get points for your team. And what you can see here on the screen is, I mean, the 3 winners. ZSC Lions, Ice Tigers from Nuremberg and Kärpät Oulu. I mean, they did a great job on this platform together with their fans, and that's highly appreciated.
Martin, at this point, a big thank you, and please join us a little bit later during the actual draw.
Thank you.
Now, as we really get ready to take a look back at some of the top moments so far from this season, please remember to let the CHL know about your best memories from the group stage, and that'll happen by posting on Instagram with hashtag CHL Throwback and perhaps win some prizes.
Samuel Fagemo scores a hat-trick, just 18 years old, with his first professional goals after just 2 games in the Swedish Hockey League and 2 in the CHL. What a night, and his coach even throws a hat on the ice. What a scene. The next Frölunda rookie to shine in the CHL.
The Czech side remain undefeated in this year's Champions Hockey League. They are the team to beat in Group H.
6 wins, 17 out of 18 points. Simply unbelievable.
Holy cow, what a great passing maneuver! Tick, tack, toe, thank you very much. This is a great night for French ice hockey. Rouen finishes the job to reach the last 16 of the CHL.
Joining us here today and right now is Mr. Jukka Jalonen to help us conduct the draw, the head coach of Finnish men's national hockey team. Jukka, good to see you, good to have you here.
Thank you.
If I can first ask, how would you assess the performances of Finnish teams in the CHL so far this season?
I have to admit that I'm a little bit disappointed and also surprised that only 2 Finnish teams went into the playoffs. Kärpät and Tappara did a great job during the group stage. But then IFK and TPS, they started a little bit slowly, too slowly. And Jyväskylä didn't finish strong enough.
During the first 3 seasons, there was a significant dominance by the Swedish teams. But as we now know, last season back in February, Jyp from Jyväskylä, they broke through that dominance to become the first Finnish CHL champions. What kind of impact, how do you see, has that had in the CHL and in Finland?
I think it's pretty big impact. People appreciate and know more a little bit CHL than before after Jyp's victory. And they know the level of hockey. And also people respects more, I think, also Finnish league's level. Because it's very, very difficult to win CHL at the moment, and you never win by accident.
That is for sure. And you have quite the experience. You're the world champion as a head coach of Finnish national team, and you've been to Liiga in Finland and in Russia, KHL, but also to smaller countries such as Great Britain and Italy, smaller in terms of ice hockey countries. What can you tell? How do you see the development in these countries?
I really like the development. I was in Italy and Great Britain about almost 20 years ago, and the level back then was quite low. At the moment it's a lot more higher, and it's nice to see the clubs last season from Great Britain to play great games in CHL, and this season especially Bolzano from Italy. So I think it's great for international ice hockey.
The story of Bolzano, for example, it's an unbelievable thing. And hey, one last thing, as a national team coach, how can international club hockey, do you think, develop players and the game as a whole?
I think there can be a big impact for the teams and for individual players, because when you play against international opponents, the level and the style of play is always a little bit different. In CHL, it's normally maybe a little bit higher than average club team or game level. So you have to improve. You have to be better competing against international rivals. And I think it's been great for Finnish hockey and generally in Europe, for sure.
At this point, Jukka, thank you.
Thank you.
So, we are now only a couple of moments away from the actual draw. But before we begin, let's first quickly review the rules and procedures.
The Champions Hockey League Playoff Draw. The first and second place teams in each of the 8 groups in the group stage advance to the CHL playoffs. To determine which teams will be facing each other in the round of 16, a draw is held where the teams are seeded into 2 pots. The 8 group winners are seeded in Pot A, the 8 runner-ups are seeded in Pot B. The group winners from Pot A will be drawn alternately at random against the group runners-up from Pot B. In terms of the draw itself, there is only one rule to remember. Teams that faced each other in the group stage cannot meet in the round of 16. If the draw produces such a pairing, the team drawn from Pot B will be moved to the next pairing. As a next step, the previous pairing must be completed by drawing another Pot B team before the standard procedure continues by drawing from Pot A. As this is the only draw rule, it means that teams from the same national league can face each other from the round of 16 onwards. As the pairings are drawn, they are placed in the playoff tree, which shows the potential path of each team all the way to the final. The draw before the round of 16 is the only draw to take place for the CHL playoffs. Afterwards, the playoff tree leads the teams from the round of 16 to the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and to the all-decisive one-game final, where the champions will be crowned.
Joining us now is a man who makes sure that we will be doing everything by the book correctly, is Champions Hockey League Sport Director Alexander Jäger. Good to have you here as well.
Thank you for having me.
Everything ready? How do you feel?
We're feeling good. We're ready for the playoff. Let's start it.
And in case of class, we will be meeting you on that side.
Hopefully not.
Okay, now, gentlemen, good to see you again, and let's get down to it. Jukka, you will be drawing from this Pot A, and they are the group winners, 8 of them, and 8 teams for you, Martin, as well, with the Pot B, and they are the group runners-up. And now, because this is the reason we are all here for, after all, let the games begin. Jukka, can you please get the first puck out?
Sure.
So 16 teams, 8 pairs. They meet each other twice, of course, home and away.
Evo Chuk from Switzerland.
4 teams from Switzerland, and one of them is out now. And Martin, who are they gonna meet? By the way, if it's gonna be Brno from Czech, it's a clash. But we'll see about that.
Kometo Brno from Czech.
So, on the first pairing already, Alex, I think we need you.
Yeah, in the first pairing we have a clash. As EV Zug has already played Kometa Brno in the group stage, they cannot play each other in the round of 16. Therefore, we need to move them one pairing down, and now we need to find another team for EV Zug in the previous pairing.
These two teams, they know each other already so well, but they don't need to meet up. Okay, Martin, so who is gonna Zug face after all?
From Germany, Red Bull Munich.
Okay, so right across the border, so to speak. And Jukka, please get the next puck, so we'll see who is the Czech Kometa Brno gonna meet up.
Tappara Tampere from Finland.
Yes, first Finnish team up as well, so quite an interesting first two games, that's for sure. Okay, let's move on. Jukka, who is the third group winner to be published from the pot A?
Malmö Redhawks from Sweden.
The first Swedish team is out as well, and as we know how strong the Swedes are, there's going to be a lot of excitement now across the continent that who are they going to face.
Against another team from Switzerland, SC Bern.
SC Bern, and as we know, they do have the highest average attendance in group state. I think it was around 10,000 or something, so it's going to be a massive thing.
Cool.
In both of the games. Okay, Jukka, you feel free to draw the next puck.
Frölunda Indians from Sweden.
The Swedes are out here again, and make no mistake about the fact that they are two-time Champions Hockey League winners.
Yep.
From 2016 and 2017. So probably gonna be pretty tough this season as well, again.
Against another team from Switzerland, HC Lugano.
Okay, so quite a few Swiss teams already out here. And Jukka, now as we have we're halfway through, we have 8 teams already out. If you look at the pairings, is there something specific that catches your eye?
I would say that pretty even matchups. I would say it's very difficult and good matchups, very good matchups. No like real underdogs or favorites. Looks good.
But as we've seen, anything can happen, especially in CHL, because we are here in the round of 16. Okay, like said, halfway through, Jukka, let's get the next one out. We have teams from Finland, Sweden, a lot of countries still.
Kärpät Oulu from Finland.
Okay, so only 2 teams from Finland, Kärpät being the other one, and they are going to face up next in the round of 16. Martin, we're about to find out.
Who will travel to the north?
Kärpät has been in the final once, that was 3 years ago, in February 2016.
ZSC Lions from Switzerland.
Okay, so that's it then. Kärpät and Zurich. That has a kind of like a connection with Finnish as well. Okay, Jukka, you have 3 more pucks. Let's get the next one out there.
Skellefteå Aiko from Sweden.
And now, if I have not made a mistake, that's the third Swedish team. And they've been to semifinals once. That was 4 seasons ago. But we'll see how they go this season, how far. And let's first see who they are going to face in a couple of weeks.
Against Storhamar from Norway.
Now the Norwegians are here as well. Some say it was a little bit of a surprise that the Norwegian team is here. Maybe not so much of a surprise for themselves, but that's another interesting matchup. Okay, gents, both of you have only 2 pucks left. And pretty soon, Jukka, you only have 1. And what's going to be the next one?
Red Bull Salzburg from Austria.
Like said, 2 Red Bull teams here. Salzburg, this is already their 5th participation in CHL, and they've been twice in the round of 16, including last year, and we'll see how it goes for them this season.
against Rouen Dragons, tic-tac-toe goals. I would love to see more of them.
Yeah, that's for sure. And make no mistake about the fact that they are 15 times in France national title holders, including last year, though they've been pretty strong in France. Okay, the excitement is here. It's up. It's time for the last pair. We know what teams are left, but still, let's see.
HC Pilsen from Czech Republic.
That is the other team from Czech, and they are gonna face in the round of 16 in 2018-2019 CHL.
HC Bolzano from Italy.
Bolzano, finally the Italians are here as well. Whoa, I don't know about your heart rate, but mine is beating up and down. It's been exciting. 16 teams, 8 pairings. Jukka, first of all, when you take a look at these, is there something specific, like what do you see?
As a Finn, of course, I will watch who is Tappara playing or GTA playing. Kometa Brno, very, very tough opponent, and also for Kärpät Oulu, Zurich Lions, very even matched teams before the games. But you never know anything can happen. Anybody can beat anybody. So I can't see it there. So big underdogs or favorites, like I said before.
That's the way it is. And Martin, if I can ask you, if we take a look at the actual playoff tree, which is the road to the final, and what do you see? Because this is the only draw that we have. From here on, we already know how the deal goes on.
Difficult to say who makes it to the final. That's more or less impossible because the battles are really tough. But I have a special eye on the small teams like Bolzano or Rouen Dragons, and really looking forward to how they will play, and they have definitely a chance to enter the next level, I would say.
The final is going to be played in February, and as we can see from the tree here, it could be all Swedish or Swiss final, and Jukka, briefly, it could be a Finnish final as well.
Yeah, it could be, but you have to deserve to be there, no matter from which country you come from.
That is for sure, and like I said, this is only the round of 16. The opponents face each other 2 times, so it'll be an interesting
Definitely
season from now on. Okay, there you have it. The top 16 teams and their fans now know who they will need to first face in the round of 16 in their quests to become nothing more, nothing less than the champions of Europe. And the first games, they will be played on Tuesday, that is November 6th, with the return games 2 weeks later, and that'll be November 20th and 21st. And of course, you can find all the details of the face-off times once they are confirmed on the official Champions Hockey League website. And in the meantime, please make sure to follow the CHL on Twitter for the latest updates and news. That is the place to be. At this point, gentlemen, Jukka, Martin,
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
It was a pleasure of ours as well. Safe travels, and see you a little bit later during the season, that's for sure.
great. Looking forward.
Interesting times ahead, and thank you for joining us from all of us here in Helsinki, Finland. It is goodbye now.